Chad full in training?
Yeah, you saw him out there. He was good. A little bit of work on, our defensive shape and stuff, so he looked good.
Brad as well?
You saw Brad out there. Looks good.
What's the word on Ivanchits? Is it a long-term thing? What is his status?
Will be playing this weekend. Probably not next Wednesday. If we make it that far. Don't want to give them any locker room, stuff. Andreas has been good. I've talked about Andreas a lot. He's been a really good foot soldier. It was unfortunate that he, got injured, but we're trying to get him back as soon as possible.
Coach, I had a question about the triangle. You talked a little bit about that. How does it change from offense to defense in that box when you've got the midfielders there?
You mean ours or other opponents?
Yours. I mean a classic, not going to give away secrets on Sunday, but just a classic triangle.
Well, okay, we play 4-2, 3-1. In a 4-3-3, you got 1 and 2, or you can flop. I mean, that just depends on what the coach wants or how he wants his team to line up and whatever. The responsibilities are similar. I mean, whether you have 1 in there who patrols it or 2, they still have to, look over their shoulders, be aware of the opponent's number 10. It's just that we prefer that Ozzy gets a little help with Christian. Now, what happens in the flow of the game when there's only 1 guy in there? I don't need 2 marking 1. So the other guy has to, put pressure on areas of the field where they might have possession of the ball. So there's subtleties to that position. But again, it just comes down to the coach and whatever they want to do, depending on the personnel of his team and how he thinks his team should play.
And how do the outside backs help in that in supporting roles?
Well, a lot of teams now are bringing their wide guys, inside. So does the outside back go with them? Does that create space for the opponent's outside back? There's all those little nuances in the game. So we always want to defend the goal, compress the field. You don't want to be stretched and open and let them come through us. So, it's just coaching.
Coach, somewhat surprisingly, RSL hasn't won since August. Winless in their last 6, and they've only scored 1 goal in their last 5 games. Is there anything you've noticed watching recent film of them that may indicate why that's the case?
That's for Jeff and his staff to figure out. That makes them a dangerous team. We've talked about this before. It's a league full of parity.
Right.
They've been good all year long. They can score goals. Okay, teams go through slumps and whatever. When do they break out of slumps? Those are all things that we can't predict. We don't have crystal balls, so I'm sure he's working very hard on his predicament. We're working very hard on the stuff that we need to, dial in for Sunday. So I'm expecting a, motivated team. They know what's on the line, so do we. So in that sense, it's just good coaching on Jeff's part.
So put a little differently, is there anything you've seen in recent film with them that you're looking to exploit in the sense that they haven't been playing as well recently?
Well, we're going to go out and play to our strengths. That's key for us. We'd love it if teams would have to change to us because that means your team is playing pretty well on a good clip. So when we come out, we'll our line of confrontation will be set. We'll press at the right moments. We'll make sure that we try and take the game to them and make them adjust to us.
How does it affect your strategy, if at all, that you guys need a win now instead of a draw?
Doesn't.
Not at all?
No. Matt, we go out to win games all the time. We don't go out to play for a draw away from home. We play to win always. So that never entered our thoughts.